And I believe I'm live. I verified we are live. Welcome to the pre-show. Why do I have this in the way? Questions and answers on the pre-show for the upcoming premiere of the video starting here at like 8:30. So we got like 20 minutes in here for the pre-show. I'm here to answer some questions, and got a lot of people in the chat. I appreciate all you guys coming in here for the pre-show, asking them questions. What's good, DJ Leo? Congrats from Rob Farrell. What's up? Yeah, new chapter in my life. Ron, for sure. Daniel Cox, how you guys doing? Oh my God, we got so many people in the chat. Hello, spam the chat. What did you give Nick for a vendor meal, JK? Everyone got the same food. Everybody got the same. The food was it was a whole little thing, The food was really cool. We did like stations, so everybody had there was different themed stations. So like each station was a theme, and we talk about that in the video coming up. You're gonna have to stay tuned to find out what those stations were in particular. But what's up, Party Marty from Vancouver? What's up, Dave Gordon in the house? Both Lighting USA repping. Anyways, yeah, just a little pre-show to get you guys hyped, get you guys excited. 52 people on here for the pre-show right now. I'm going to let you guys in a little thing right now because you guys are here early right now. Shout out to Atlanta, California, Richard, McKinley, and Robert. This premiere video, this is one of the longest videos I've ever put on YouTube. It is 54 minutes long. So, the premiere is going to go on for a while. So, if you need to grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a cocktail. I got some high noons back here chilling right now. For this premiere, do it because this is going to be epic. I'm going to be in the comments on the premiere, but the bigger thing is Puerto Rico, what's up? After the premiere, I'm going to do a full breakdown of everything. Did you allow guest requests for Nick? Actually, I'll tell this. There's a funny story. Nick's video, if you guys saw, how many guys in the chat saw Nick's video? Hi from the UK. What's up, everybody? Nick was very brief, like a 14-minute video. There's a lot of stuff he left out of there that I'm glad I made this long video to show you guys, including some gear mishaps that happened during the gig. It's all in the video. It's gonna be fun. But the story I want to talk about right now, the guest request thing. So one of the things Nick, he actually talked about on his podcast, but he was thrown off by how little people were demanding or requesting things and how kind and polite everybody was here down south in North Carolina. He actually told, we were on the way back from the after party, which we'll talk about as well. And the after party's included, a little clip in there. But we were driving back from the after party with Nick. It was me, Christine, my wife, and then Nick and Santi, and we're driving back to the hotel. And Nick was like, I'm used to in New Jersey and New York where people just come up to me and they're like, play this, play that. So like, someone come up and be like, yo, what you want? Hey, what you want? And he's like, I had so many people come up like, and he put on a Southern accent, so I'm going to try and do the same. He's like, yeah, there, darling, you're doing amazing. You're just doing amazing at what you do. I appreciate everything you're doing. You're just so good at what you do. And he's like, I never get compliments in New Jersey and New York. Like, people don't walk up to me and tell me I'm good at my job. Normally, they got something to bitch and complain about. So, I really thought that was funny that that was one of the things he actually got, I think, maybe one song request the whole entire night, and it was already a song he was going to play. But, I mean, the room was full of DJs. If you saw on my Instagram story earlier, the picture of all the DJs there, I think there was like 10 of us there that were all DJs in the room out of like 100 people. So like 10% of the audience was DJs. Pretty crazy. What's up, Jacksonville, Florida, Arizona, Pablo, New Mexico. Yeah, what's up? Meant to say instead of my Barstool, California. A lot of California people. OC in the building tonight. How you guys doing? One request, and it was for Bad Bunny. He didn't play a single Bad Bunny all night. I'm excited for you guys to watch this too because literally you're going to be able to see a full, complete set of what Nick played. Like we did it just like my gig logs. We cut it up to see the transitions, see the exact songs that they're playing. And it's the mixing portion of the video is like 20 minutes long, 20, 30 minutes of the 50 minutes. So you guys are literally going to be able to experience the full set that Nick played. Of course, chopped up for copyright reasons, but you'll actually get to see a taste of what basically a 2.5 hour set, roughly. I think he played from 8 8 to 10:30, 8:30. Yeah, it was like almost 3 hours, almost 3 hours of dancing. So like 2.5. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Any questions you guys got? We're at 8:12 right now. You know, the premiere will start at 8:30. I do have a 5-minute countdown on that, so we'll probably wait a few minutes. But what questions do you got? Nick was only 4, and I was wondering how he worked the room. I don't know exactly your question there, Envision, but yeah, 70 people in the pre-show right now. What's up? Oh, 4 minutes. Oh, he only had 4 minutes clips. Yeah, Nick did. I'll give Nick props. I like his different take on doing a gig log. He really he narrated like Morgan Freeman, and he told the story, and it's a different take on a gig log, and I really enjoy it. It was very good the way he told the story and everything. But let me tell you, there was some nuggets in there he left out, and we're gonna get into them in this video or in the full premiere here. How long were you planning your wedding for? Honestly, not long. I mean, we got engaged in August of 2022, so we had over a year to plan the whole thing, which was nice. So, we picked a lot of great vendors that took care of most of it, but, most of the core planning doesn't happen until about 3 months out. That's when we really started to dive into it. Derek, what do you use to keep track of all your weddings like program? In the company, we use Vibo. We use Vibo and Honeybook. So Honeybook manages communication between the clients, and then Vibo is purely for the planning side of things. And believe it or not, we didn't actually use Vibo at all for the planning of my wedding, only because Nick is not a Vibo user. He uses DJ Event Planner. So we actually ended up using Google Sheets or Google Docs for most of it. And let me tell you, I'll probably show it in the after show. So you guys got to stay tuned for the after show. I'm going to reveal a lot of stuff in that, but I had like 4 pages or 4 different documents, multiple pages each for my team for the level of setup and, like what I was asking of them, because all of my DJs and all my lead people were in the wedding. So I had to rely purely on our assistants for basically doing everything, and they knocked it out of the park. What's the best lighting from both lighting? All of it. I'm in love with the wash movers, the 1950 Auroras. Those things are fucking cool. And then the tubes, of course. The tubes are just amazing. We used 8 tubes in the wedding. You'll see. You probably saw some of the photos. And then the IR4s. I mean, you can't beat them. Who are the DJs showed? Who for the DJ showed up? I know Book came. Did Janai and Bun? Janai, I didn't invite Janai or Bun. Janai is we're not like close. I invited the DJs I'm close to that I have like regular conversations with on like a weekly basis, and like the guys I go way back with. So Bar was there, Christino's there, J Book was there, Michael from Vibo, the guy that owns Vibo, really close friend of mine. I invited all my really close DJ homies. I invited John Simmons, DJ Whoopig, but he could not make it because he already had a production that he was flying out for. And I believe those are all the DJs that got invited. Of course, Eric Mazengale and a few others were there. How does it feel now to be married? It's different. It's different. I really enjoy going through the process of having a wedding, though. Because my mind has changed so much in terms of like how we run our company and some of the things we're changing based on my experience of running my wedding. Some things that I think could make the planning experience better for future couples. What was it like being on the other end of planning? I kind of just went into it. There's a lot more that goes into a wedding than what you think. There's a lot more when it comes to, a lot of the detail stuff that you don't think about, like who's doing the centerpieces, who's doing the seating chart. The seating chart was a big one. I will say, after going through the planning process, the seating chart, if you decide to do like a seating chart of some sort where either you're telling people what table to set up or you're going all the way down the chairs, we just assign people the tables. But that process is very strenuous. I mean, you're bouncing around, family drama, friendships. You're trying to pair people up if they're like friends, or you're trying to start combos. We did that a lot with putting people at the same table that we wanted them to be introduced. We knew these two people would get along, and we wanted them to meet each other. Are you going to be your own DJ? Are you going to be your own DJ? I'm not sure your question, Jesse. How did you pick vendors and venue? That's actually a good question right there. So let's just start with venue, actually. So, if I wasn't already in the wedding industry, I probably would have started with coordinator. That's where I always recommend my clients start, is to start talking to a coordinator first because they're in the industry. I was already in the industry, so I passed the coordinator in terms of the finding vendors part, because that's why I recommend a good coordinator, because a good coordinator is going to recommend good vendors and pick out the venue that's going to work best with the client. I already kind of knew the vendors. I knew the venue that I wanted to check out. But actually, the biggest determining factor was food, believe it or not, in my area. This is just my experience. The biggest aspect of our wedding, other than entertainment, was food. We wanted to really have like the best of the best food. We're foodies through and through. Her family's foodies, so we wanted to make sure we had good food. And it turned out, like, when I looked at what are the best venues in our area, because we also had restrictions. We had a lot of out of towners, so we wanted to be close to a hotel, and I wanted to have an after party, so we wanted to be close to a downtown area where we could go have an after party. And that brought it down to just a handful of venues. And the determining factor was actually food. A lot of venues, they have one caterer or an in-house caterer that you have to use. And I was very particular. We were very particular on the food we wanted. And that landed us on the Cadillac Service Garage, which was fantastic. Nick, if you watch Nick's vlog, it's actually an old service garage from the 1940s or 50s. And they've literally converted it, but reused as much as they could from the shop. It's a fabulous venue. I love it. The aesthetics are great, which was great for us because we didn't want to do like any decor. We actually got more decor than what we planned on doing, and that was purely because we have a good relationship with the caterer / florist, and she went above and beyond and really made the place be something special. And after that, that's how we chose the venue. The venue had a deal with a coordinator inside of it, so we, of course, went with that. Otherwise, I would have went with a couple other coordinators that I like as well. But, it's really hard to pick coordinators because I work with a lot and I like them all. But we got a deal to use Summer within the venue. She's like their in-house, so we went with Summer. She's great, fabulous, knocked it out of the park as well. Photo-wise, I went with my tried and true buddy that I've had since I moved down here in 2018, Brian Anthony, and we literally met at our first ever wedding show that we did, and both of us had moved down at the same time. So, we're both starting our companies down there. We hit it off. I'll pass leads your way that way, and we just built a relationship since that first day. So it's my longest going relationship when it comes to a photographer. That's why I chose him. Yeah. So that's kind of how it went with choosing the vendors for the most part. The DJ was purely, I wanted to get a really good DJ that I knew that wasn't in my company, so that way all of my DJs within my company could come and enjoy the wedding. Yeah. Let's see. What's your favorite light from both lighting? I've already answered that. What's your take on, where are we at? 8:21, so cool. What's your take on low-lying fog machine? Couldn't replace the Nimbus. Could it replace the Nimbus? No. So the low-lying fog machine only works if the venue has zero circulation of air, and it does not create as full of an effect as the Nimbus does. Now, we're starting to use both. So we're using them in combination because the one thing the low fog machine has on top of the Nimbus is it keeps going. It literally can go for like 30 minutes and nonstop. The Nimbus is a one and done. So we kind of pair both of them. We use the low-lying fog to get it started, the Nimbus for the big push, and the low-lying fog to keep it going. That's kind of where we're at. That's actually another factor. You'll notice in the gig log we don't have any special effects, and that's purely because the venue does not allow special effects. So that was the one, thing I had to compromise on, is we couldn't have cold sparks, we couldn't have dancing on the cloud, we couldn't have CO2 cannons, we couldn't have any of that, unfortunately. So that was my one compromise I had to have with the venue, and it was okay. It worked out. You know, those would have just been icing on the cake factors. We ended up using Cold Sparks outside, but yeah. Anyways, we dropped down. We're down to 58 people in here, but the premiere is coming up very, very quickly. We are closing in on that 10-minute mark. I'm going to probably end this and switch everybody over at like 8:32. That's when the premiere will start because it's got a 5-minute countdown. It starts at 8:30, but there's a 5-minute countdown on it. So I'll stay on here for a little bit longer while that spools up. Did any of your DJ friends say anything because you didn't book them for your wedding? Absolutely not. If anything, the DJs I invited there were happy they weren't the DJ because no one wants the stress of DJing another DJ's wedding. I mean, that is a very stressful task to ask upon someone. And let's go into the next question here of what made you want Nick to DJ your wedding? Were there other DJs you were considering? So Nick was my first pick. My second pick would have been either like Demand or a few other guys. So I wanted one of the DJs from up in New Jersey, New York, because that's the style of DJing I wanted. I wanted very upbeat, fast music pace. That's the style I like to DJ myself, and that's the style I look for. I didn't want a DJ within my own company or in my region because, you know, then I'm showing favoritism in my own region, and I didn't want any of my DJs under my company to have the burden of DJing the boss's wedding or, you know, showing favoritism, or in general, I just wanted them to be there. All my DJs in my company are close friends. 3 of the people in our wedding were DJs or assistants, actually more than that. A lot of people that were in the wedding were part of my company. It's, you know, we're all friends, we're all homies, and I wanted them to be able to come to the wedding, enjoy the wedding. So Nick is also a very close friend of mine. We've been around for a while, and I like his style more. You know, Nick's style of DJing, that's kind of the biggest factor as to why I led to go with Nick over some of my other buddies that are DJs in the industry. But also, I know Nick has DJ'd for other DJs, and I knew he was up for the task. So that's kind of what led me to Nick, is just like, you know, he's just a close homie, and he has a very similar DJ style to what I like and how I like to DJ. And that was my first option, and he was available, so it worked out. Yeah. What was the best DJ setup you did? What's the best DJ setup you did? Probably this one, honestly. This setup is sick. And we'll go into full details in the post-show. Post-show is where we're going to go into all the gear. I got the photos prepped and some video clips, and we're going to go through all the gear that we used at this wedding, at our wedding, if my wife is listening. Now that you've seen both sides of the DJ booth at your wedding, do you any insight or advice for other DJs? Yeah, I got one cool bit of information that I've learned from being on the other side of it. Keep the genres moving. Keep switching it up. Go out of left field. Like, throw in one thing, and this is, again, why I gravitated towards Nick. It's a similar style. But he actually took, like, I have a similar style to Nick in terms of, you know, swapping genres and throwing in random stuff. He goes to the next level. I swear, this guy was literally playing a different genre every other track. Like, he'd be in, like, rock, hip-hop, pop, Latin, like, literally flip-flop, and you'll see that in the video. And that is something I've learned as just on the other side that I like a lot. Yeah. The other thing is dead air. Try your best to avoid dead air as much as possible. I've seen that on both sides after being on my wedding, and that dead air is the enemy. So try your best to either have a beat playing in the background or constantly be on the mic when we're talking about like introductions and toasts and stuff like that. Didn't try to sneak a hazer in. I got a whole thing on the hazer. I can talk about it a little bit, but it broke. And I think one of my guys broke it. Marcellus has been using it in the warehouse to do his lighting programming, and he didn't know it was an oil hazer, and he put some water haze juice in it, and he said it was working. All I know is at the wedding, we had to order new haze juice the week of, and it got in, and we filled up the hazer at the wedding, and the thing started leaking like no tomorrow, and no haze was coming out of that bitch. So sadly, it would have been sick if we had the hazer running, but sadly didn't. But you know, you can't get mad about day of stuff. We just kept it pushing. Is it buffet or sit down? Our wedding was stations. So not buffet, not sit down. So there's different stations around the room, each one of them serving a different type of cuisine. So it's more like tapas style, if you've ever been to a tapas restaurant, or small plates. So each station, there was 4 of them. Each of them had different stuff, and each of them basically had different things to use. Or different things to eat. 8:28. We're closing in, guys. We're closing in. We're getting close to the premiere. We're back up to 70 people, too. We're closing in. Oil heaters and their pros and cons. I'm not getting into oil heaters in this, but closing in 30. Yes. Hey, I'm all about oil hazers personally. I don't like water hazers. I had to totally clean it out because they tried to put the wrong fluid in it. Yeah, sadly, that's what I think I'm going to have to do. Edgar, thank you very much. Thanks for the congratulations from Riverside, California. We got a lot of people in California today on here. We're at 8:28. We're closing in on the premiere of the video. Like I told you guys at the beginning, any of you guys that are new right now, you need to strap in because this is a 54-minute video. It's going to start on Wednesday when we're prepping the gear and we're trying out some new things, and I'll talk about more of that in the post show. And also, I got a full video coming out next week on how we ran wireless audio at the event. We ran speakers completely wirelessly using wireless microphones of all things in reverse. Pretty cool. But yeah, we're gonna talk about. Do you recommend SoundSwitch and the ADJ Wolf Mix? So, Nisha, I'll go to that real quick. I use SoundSwitch. All my guys use SoundSwitch. Wolf Mix is new to the game in a way. We do plan on trying out some Wolf Mix stuff in summer, but at least from the clientele and the people I see, Wolf Mix and SoundSwitch are like the biggest 2 things that are being used for DMX right now. South Carolina in the house. What up, DJ E. Cali? Just down south for me. I remember seeing that on. Oh yeah, the wireless speakers. Yes. Yeah. I made a whole video this week that'll be dropping next week. I filmed it. Anyways, are you guys ready? Are you guys 8:29 right now? Again, I'm going to stay on here a little bit longer because that premiere does start, and it will go. I believe it goes until it goes. It's like a 5-minute countdown, so we can stay on here a little bit longer. It's 8:30 right now, and that premiere should be starting. And I'm actually going to pull it up on a little side panel here and see how that's looking. If you guys see it on the channel right now, I just want to verify, but we will be redirecting everybody that's on this live stream straight over there. Will this be recorded? Because I got to go. This right here, this pre-show probably won't go live. I'll probably leave it live. The pre-show will be live. The post-show for sure is going to be live. But yeah, the premiere is starting, which is exciting. Yeah, but that's got a wonderful 5-minute countdown on it. So we'll stay on here for a second. I want to touch on the NLFX speakers. We'll talk about that in the post show. Post show, guys. You guys got to stay tuned for the post show after this pre-show. So this is the pre-show. We're just answering some quick Q&As, but after this big premiere, tune in for the post show. I'm going to be going into detail on all the gear we used, how we used it. I'm going to talk about the vibe and the different things I did at my wedding that aren't normally done. The premiere is a live video, so once it premieres the video, it'll go live, Robert. It'll just be a normal YouTube video after it premieres. So it's I got it pulled up on the other side right now. We're at 3 minutes and 44 seconds on the countdown. But yeah, we'll be backing out of this in a minute. So once this gets down to 2 minutes on the countdown, I'll redirect you guys over there for the premiere, and I hope you guys are excited. I mean, like I said, strap in, get yourself some snacks, get yourself a drink. 54-minute premiere. I will be in the chat on the premiere answering any questions during it or commenting during the actual live premiere on the live chat. But again, post-show, is where the first thing I'm going to talk about. We're going to look at the DJ setup, and I'm going to talk about everything we're using in terms of gear, because in this vlog, I try to do something different here. So I didn't actually vlog any of it. So the perspective is actually from Hannah, who was in my bridesmaids group, or in my wife's bridesmaids group. And then Marcellus, as you guys know from the channel probably, was on my groomsmen side. So both of them were vlogging from their two different perspectives of the whole entire thing, and we could do a little back and forth throughout the whole entire thing. But I mainly focused on telling the story of the whole entire thing and just showing you guys all the stuff that happened along the way, not necessarily going in depth in terms of what gear it was. So that's why we're going to do a post show breaking down all the different gear that I was using. Cool. So I hope you guys are thrilled and ready to go. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to redirect you guys over there. You're going to have 2 minutes to get a quick little, yeah, I'm pretty wasted at the end of this, to be honest. But I'm going to redirect you guys over there, and I will see you guys in there, and I'll see you guys in the post show. And yeah, so peace out for the pre-show. Let's go.